How did Angelina Jolie's mother die? Angelina Jolie had a long battle with the disease, which she lost in 2007. It is well known that Mark-Helen Bertrand, who is the mother of Angelina Jolie, died after a long battle with dual cancers, ovarian and breast. Now, her daughter is set to play a character in her forthcoming movie, Couture, who was diagnosed with breast cancer while working as a director covering a fashion event in Paris. It is well known that Mark-Helen Bertrand, who is the mother of Angelina Jolie, died after a long battle with dual cancers, ovarian and breast. Now, her daughter is set to play a character in her forthcoming movie, Couture, who is diagnosed with breast cancer while working as a director covering a fashion event in Paris. As the movie premiered at the Toronto International Film Festival, she was visibly emotional at a question from the audience about her message of hope to those who are struggling with cancer. Before composing herself, Angelina choked up a bit. Perhaps memories of her late mother, whom she lost at just the age of 56 in 2007, flashed. "I'm very sorry for your loss," the Lara Croft actress said to the audience member who said he had recently lost a friend to cancer. She continued, "I think I will say that one thing I remember my mother saying when she had cancer was, she said to me once, we had had a dinner, and people were asking her how she was feeling, and she said, 'All anybody ever asks me about is cancer.'" Her statement from the stage at the Princess of Wales Theatre holds significant weight, as she herself lost a dear one to the disease. "So, I would say, if you know someone who is going through something, ask them about everything else in their life as well, you know? They're a whole person and they're still living," she noted. Meanwhile, Angelina-led Couture is yet to receive a date for theatrical release. Angelina Jolie tears up while discussing late mother in emotional moment. Angelina Jolie's mother, Mark-Helen Bertrand, tragically passed away in 2007 after a long battle with both ovarian and breast cancer. Angelina Jolie opened up about losing her mother to breast and ovarian cancer during a Q&A for her new film, Couture, which follows a filmmaker taking a job in the Paris fashion industry amid a cancer diagnosis. Mark-Helen Bertrand, the actress's adoring mom, passed away in 2007, aged 56, after being diagnosed with ovarian cancer 8 years prior and breast cancer shortly before her death. Angelina was incredibly close with her mother, particularly after her parents' divorce. Mark-Helen was married to Oscar-winning actor Jon Voight for 9 years and also welcomed a son, James Haven, with him. The 50-year-old was taken aback by a question from the audience during the Toronto International Film Festival event and began to dab at her eyes as she was comforted by director Alice Winecourt and co-star Innie Renee. The audience member revealed that their close friend had passed away after a cancer battle and asked Angelina's advice to anyone who recently lost someone. The mother of 6 took a moment to compose herself, holding her hand over her mouth as she gathered her thoughts. "I'm very sorry for your loss," she began. "One thing I remember my mother saying when she had cancer, we'd had a dinner and people were asking her how she was doing. She said, 'All people ever ask me about is cancer.' I would say, if you know someone who's going through something, ask them about everything else in their life as well. They're a whole person, and they're still living," she continued. Angelina also touched on how Couture was able to capture this and give her character an identity outside of her cancer diagnosis. "What I really love is that there's often films that deal with cancer that become about the cancer, and the life becomes defined by the illness. Instead of who is this life," she explained. "Who is Maxine? Maxine, through it isn't just this. She's a mother, she's an artist, she's sexual. All of these things I thought were really important to show and to live forward while we're here. Try to live as much as we can." The Maria actress got candid about using her grief to inform her performances during an appearance at the Santa Barbara Film Festival in February. "I would be absolutely nothing without my mom. She passed away many years ago at this time of year, so it's always this weather that reminds me of her," Angelina said. "That feeling, that sensibility that makes that actually hard for me is part of what is my work and what connects me and many artists to their work, and I know I'm not alone in this." The humanitarian's experience with her mother's cancer inspired her to undergo a hysterectomy in 2010 and a double mastectomy in 2013 to drastically cut her chances of developing the same diseases as Mark-Helen. She opened up about the decision in an essay for the New York Times, a move which has since been praised for raising awareness about breast and ovarian cancer prevention. "I wanted to write this to tell other women that the decision to have a mastectomy was not easy, but it is one I am very happy that I made," she wrote. "My chances of developing breast cancer have dropped from 87% to under 5%. I can tell my children that they don't need to fear they will lose me to breast cancer." Angelina Jolie stuns in chic pantsless look with thigh-high slit coat at 50. Photos. Back in 2012, Angelina Jolie's leg stole the show at the Oscars, sparking a viral meme after she struck a pose in a black Versace gown with a daring thigh-high slit. 13 years later, the 50-year-old actress has brought the moment back in style. On Sunday, September 7th, Jolie turned heads at the Toronto International Film Festival premiere of her new film Couture, wearing a bold ensemble that instantly drew comparisons to her iconic red carpet look. For the TIFF premiere, Jolie wore a brown wool, double-breasted maxi coat with sheer nylons. She left the buttons open at the waist, creating a makeshift slit that allowed her to strike her signature pose. With one leg peeking through the coat, she recreated the stance that made her a viral sensation more than a decade ago. Fans may recall that in 2012, Jolie paired her black Versace gown with voluminous hair and red lipstick, presenting on stage at the Academy Awards while the world buzzed about her leggy look. Jolie's leg-bearing look comes just days after she surprised fans with a dramatic new hairstyle. While filming Anxious People in London, she debuted an icy blonde bob wig, her lightest and shortest hair in years, as per photos by Page 6. Although the bob was for her role, Jolie has been wearing her real hair in a lighter blonde shade throughout 2025, marking one of her most notable transformations in recent memory. At TIFF, Jolie was promoting Alice Winocour's Couture, where she stars as Maxine, a horror film director caught in the chaos of Paris Fashion Week. Speaking to Variety, Jolie called the project deeply personal. "I feel like it's such a personal film," she said. "It felt so private that in my mind, it's probably the one film that doesn't feel like a film." Pairing a daring fashion moment with an emotional reflection on her work, Jolie reminded fans why she remains one of Hollywood's most bankable stars, still commanding attention on the red carpet more than a decade after her iconic Oscars pose. Angelina Jolie sought comfort while filming Couture by wearing late mom's necklace when she felt vulnerable. Couture felt so personal, Jolie said at the Toronto International Film Festival, that it doesn't feel like a film. Angelina Jolie stars as a filmmaker receiving a breast cancer diagnosis in Couture, her new movie premiering at the Toronto International Film Festival. "I felt very vulnerable," she told Variety, considering her and her family's history with cancer. While filming Couture, Jolie wore one of her late mother Mark-Helen Bertrand's necklaces. Angelina Jolie's new film resonated with her like few projects have before. In writer-director Alice Winocour's movie Couture, which premiered Sunday, September 7th at the Toronto International Film Festival, the Oscar winner plays a mother and filmmaker who's working on a Paris Fashion Week runway film while getting divorced and learning of a breast cancer diagnosis. "I felt very vulnerable," Jolie, 50, said of making the French and English language movie during an interview with Variety. At the festival, the star, who underwent a preventive double mastectomy in 2013 because she carried the BRCA1 gene, couldn't help but think of her family history. Her mother, Mark-Helen Bertrand, died of ovarian and breast cancer in 2007, and her aunt and grandmother also died of the disease. Jolie sought comfort by wearing one of her late mother's necklaces on screen in Couture, she told the outlet. "I feel like it's such a personal film," the mother of 6 said. "It felt so private that in my mind, it's probably the one film that doesn't feel like a film." Couture follows Jolie's Maxine Walker and 2 others, makeup artist and aspiring writer Angeli, played by Ella Rumpf, and South Sudan model Ada Inirene. Winocour said that she had Jolie in mind when writing its screenplay. "I thought it would be interesting to show her fragility and the woman behind the icon," the director said. "What I love about Angelina is that she's in the Hollywood system, but at the same time, she's a kind of a rebel to the authority." Jolie knew signing on to the film would bring up many personal things, she told Variety. "But I have always found the heaviest films tend to have the most loving sets. There's something quite comforting about having real conversations and having real feelings with a shared community. It was quite healing in many ways because you look at the other faces of the people on the set, because 1 in 3 people have cancer, and most everybody's been in a hospital room with somebody they've loved. Everybody on set has lost someone they've loved." She continued, "You recognize that life is fragile and time goes quickly, and people pass away that we can't imagine the world could exist without. It's hard not to feel very close to a crew and other actors in this kind of a piece. Never miss a story. Sign up for People's free daily newsletter to stay up to date on the best of what People has to offer, from celebrity news to compelling human interest stories." At a Q&A after Couture's September 7th premiere screening, Jolie got emotional while giving a message of hope for those facing cancer. One thing I remember my mother saying when she had cancer, she said to me once, we had had a dinner, and people were asking her how she was feeling, and she said, all anybody ever asks me about is cancer. So I would say, if you know someone who is going through something, ask them about everything else in their life as well, you know? They're a whole person and they're still living, she concluded. Couture does not yet have a release date. Among Jolie's other upcoming credits are Anxious People, Maud v. Maud, and Maleficent 3.